For thousands of years, civilizations built wealth not on transactions, but on a moral philosophy that modern finance has forgotten. What ancient India called the Dharma of Dhan was a complete wealth system, one the world's best investors are only now rediscovering. This is Gyangatha, Ancient Wisdom, Modern Practice, a documentary for those serious about building wealth that outlasts every market cycle. 3 centuries before the Common Era, Chanakya wrote the Arthashastra. Its central thesis, wealth is not a destination, it is a discipline. Chanakya wrote a scalable model for the household, the merchant, anyone seeking financial sovereignty. He understood money carries a moral dimension. The Vedic framework elevated artha, material wealth, as sacred, but only within one condition. It must exist entirely within Dharma. Chanakya wrote, "The root of happiness is Dharma. The root of Dharma is wealth, rightly acquired. 2 words carry the entire system. Now observe what we have built instead. A global economy with one directive. Consume today, pay tomorrow with interest. Designed to generate perpetual debt. Global household debt now exceeds $100 trillion. 23% of average income goes purely to debt service. Not savings, not investment. Ancient Sanskrit gave debt its true name, runa, not a financial instrument, a bondage, a direct reduction of your future self's freedom to choose. Against runa, Chanakya gave us vriddhi, organic compounding prosperity. Like the banyan, deliberate, structural, expanding across time rather than sprinting. The Arthashastra's household model begins with the kosha, a mandatory liquid reserve of 6 months' expenses. Build this before any capital deployment whatsoever. Today, we call this the emergency fund, recommended globally at 3 to 6 months. Chanakya made it mandatory 2,300 years ago. How does a philosophy from ancient India translate into a global framework? Through universal principles that transcend geography, era, and every market cycle. The debt architecture follows a precise sequence. Consumer loan, credit card, personal loan to service the card, refinance to manage the loan, each step individually rational, collectively a trap. Modern debt's power is invisibility, processing fees on zero-cost instruments, bundled insurance, hidden prepayment penalties. Your credit score becomes a leash, not a badge. Behavioral economists call this the debt spiral, where debt service consumes more income each cycle, leaving progressively less for asset creation. Net worth regresses. 2 families, same city, similar incomes. Family A invests disciplined monthly from 25. Family B earns more, lives on credit. By 45, categorically different outcomes. The mathematics need no embellishment. Consistent monthly investment at historical equity returns, compounded over 25 years, produces wealth no fixed deposit can replicate Family B at 45. High income, high credit score, impressive consumption, and a negative net worth. They spent their future to fund their present. The bridge from ancient principle to modern practice is nivesh. Not trading, not speculation. Patient, systematic capital deployment into instruments of long-term vriddhi, portfolio diversification, claimed as modern, is documented Kautilian principle from 300 BCE. Chanakya prescribed spreading capital across asset classes as wealth preservation architecture. When evaluating institutions that operationalize the Nivesh principle, long track record, diversified fund architecture, institutional credibility, HDFC Mutual Fund consistently stands as one of India's most established. Their SIP infrastructure begins at 500 rupees monthly, making Chanakya's kosha building principle accessible to every income bracket, not just the already wealthy. The Bhagavad Gita names lobha, greed, as one of 3 gates to self-destruction. Financially, lobha arrives disguised as opportunity, urgency, and fear of missing returns. Every market cycle produces lobha casualties, retail options explosions, leverage-fueled crypto cycles, 5 years of disciplined compounding lost in 1 month of speculative reaction. The Gita's antidote to lobha is anasakti, non-attachment to outcomes. In investing, this is the discipline to hold long-term through volatility without emotional disruption. The Dharma of Dhan framework maps to 4 non-negotiable sequential steps, applicable to any investor, in any economy, at any income level. Step 1. Build your kosha. 6 months of essential expenses in a liquid instrument, before any equity position, before any investment decision is made. Step 2. Eliminate runa systematically. Highest interest first. Clearing 42% credit card debt is a guaranteed return no equity market can match. Step 3. Begin Nivesh immediately, at whatever scale is sustainable. The critical variable is not the amount. It is eliminating the decision through automation. Step 4. Diversify with intention. Equity for vriddhi, debt for stability, gold as inflation hedge, liquid for kosher maintenance. This is asset allocation as Dharma. The Dharma of Dhan is not a relic of ancient India. It is the operating system of every civilization that built enduring prosperity, and the absence defining everyone that lost it. What separates these two worlds is not geography. It is each society's relationship with wealth. When treated as vriddhi, it compounds. When treated as consumable, it contracts. For the global Indian investor, resident or NRI, the Dharma of Dhan carries specific urgency. Each generation's instruments differ. The underlying principle is always identical. For the NRI specifically, rupee-denominated Indian equity markets have historically provided dual advantage: equity returns compounded by long-term currency appreciation over fixed deposit rates. HDFC mutual funds architecture spans the complete Dharma of Dhan framework. Equity for vriddhi, hybrid for balance, debt for stability, ELSS for tax-efficient wealth preservation. A final diagnostic from the Arthashastra: distinguish advisors who serve your interest from those who serve their own, and those who cannot tell the difference. Always verify your chosen instrument operates within a regulated framework, SEBI registered, audited, transparently documented. Regulation is Chanakya's dharmic accountability, expressed in modern law. The Dharma of Dhan requires 4 decisions made once, executed consistently. Build the kosher, eliminate runa, begin nivesh, diversify with intention, sequence matters, consistency compounds. A single disciplined decision, a kosher built, a runa eliminated, a nivesh begun, expands beyond your portfolio. It reaches your family, their children, generations you haven't met, 2,600 years. One conclusion: wealth within Dharma grows. Wealth against it, regardless of scale or momentum, eventually and always contracts. The link to begin. Your Nivesh with HDFC Mutual Fund is in the description. Review the fund options. Start your SIP. The second best time to begin is always now. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Please read all scheme-related documents carefully. This content is for financial education only, not personalized investment advice. New episodes every week. Ancient principles, modern application. If today clarified your financial architecture, share it with someone whose Dharma of Dhan deserves to begin. Chanakya devoted entire chapters to the ethics of trade, not because commerce was suspect, but because it was sacred. Every financial tool you choose carries that same moral weight. Modern behavioral finance documents what Chanakya stated simply: the financial brain runs 2 systems, deliberate long-term anasakti and reactive short-term lopar. Every debt product activates the second. Financial sovereignty doesn't look like a number on a screen. It looks like choices made freely, without debt obligation, like a grandchild's education funded without compromise. Every era presents its own instruments of vriddhi and its own architecture of runa. The instruments change across centuries. The Dharma governing them never does. Rightful investing begins with understanding before deploying. Read the scheme document. Know the expense ratio. Understand the fund's asset allocation. This is Chanakya's basic financial prerequisite. 1 lakh at 12% annually becomes 35 lakhs in 30 years, without a single additional rupee contributed. Time is not a variable in compounding. It is the equation. The Dharma of Dhan is not means tested. The salaried professional, the small business owner, the NRI allocating foreign earnings home, the principle is identical. Only the scale is personal. Discipline in Chanakya's system was structural, not motivational. Automate the SIP. Calendar the portfolio review. Schedule the annual kosher audit. Make Dharma the default, not the exception. Chanakya's final counsel was not a strategy. It was a question. Are you the master of your resources? Or have your resources become the master of you? The same sun that rose over Chanakya's Pataliputra rises over every global market today. The same choice between vriddhi and runa. The same consequences, always attached to each. Every generation receives financial wisdom and chooses what to do with it. The decisions you make in the next 12 months will compound for the next 30 years. The link is in the description. Verify your kosher is in place. Open the link, review the fund options, start your SIP. Rightful, disciplined investing begins in this present moment. Wealth, fundamentally, is not a financial metric. It is sovereignty, the capacity to choose freely, unencumbered by obligation. It has always been available, to anyone willing to choose it. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme documents carefully. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Consult a SEBI registered advisor before investing. New episodes every week. Ancient wisdom, modern practice. zero noise. Subscribe to Gyangatha, and we will continue this conversation next week.